Welcome to Snooze Worthy, a podcast by Parenting Practice of Colorado, your window into the world of pediatric sleep, where we explore the science behind sweet dreams, effective sleep teaching techniques, and all the intriguing nuances of your child's slumber. I'm your host, Lindsey Birchfield.
And I'm Paige Legault. Together, we're here to guide you through the labyrinth of parenting, offering insights, strategies, and science-backed advice to make parenting during those early childhood years not just manageable, but truly memorable.
As pediatric sleep specialists, we've seen the transformational power of sleep in countless families.
And because parenting is a journey, we won't stop at sleep. We'll provide you with valuable parenting tips for every aspect of early childhood, from managing tantrums to fostering creativity and hitting those all-important milestones.
So whether you're a seasoned parent in need of a sleep overhaul or a new parent preparing for the joys and challenges of early childhood, Snooze Worthy is your trusted resource. Join us as we unravel the science of sleep, share practical advice, and make parenting truly snooze-worthy. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Snooze Worthy. This is Lindsey Birchfield, and today we're going to be doing another fun get-to-know episode, this time with our newest senior sleep specialist, Kristen Northrop. Welcome to Snooze Worthy, Kristen.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be joining today.
Yes, we are so excited to have you join and let the audience get to know who you are just a little bit better. So let's start at the beginning. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, definitely. So I am local to Colorado, which is really nice. I've gotten to know Lindsey and her sweet family in this area. And I am a mom of two boys. I have Lucas and Noah. They are 8 and 5. And so they are kind of what has started my journey being a sleep consultant. It's been about 7 years now. And so I've worked in a few different fashions, but I'm really excited to be joining parenting practice, and I am very excited to get started and get to know some more local families and work with all of you in the community. A few things about myself. We always joke that it's never kind to assume things about people, but with me, it's always safe to assume a few things. I will always go get coffee with you. That's an automatic yes. If someone asks if I watched a football game, automatic yes, of course I watched the football game. I revolved my whole weekend around the football game. And if you ask me if I've read a book, I have almost always read the book. I have it on my Kindle. I probably listened to it, and it's probably on my bookshelf if you want to borrow it. So those are a few things about me that are always safe to assume. Other than that, I'm just always busy doing boy mom life stuff.
I love that. And I love all of those three things because those resonate really well with me too. Coffee is my favorite drink. I'm obsessed with it. I have one right here as always. And we love meeting at a coffee shop together. So that's great. And go Broncos. Definitely a sad loss, but what a great season for our boys. It's awesome. We love that.
We love it. Love to see it. Yep.
Yep. Awesome. Well, so excited to have you here. And thank you for sharing just a little bit of background about you personally. So let's talk professionally. Was there something specific that drew you to working with families and babies originally? And really what inspired you to go and become a certified pediatric sleep specialist?
Yeah, so my degrees are in education, early childhood education, and psychology, which led me to working in the field of ABA, applied behavioral analysis. So I was working with younger children on the autism spectrum, where I got to work one-on-one with families, both in their home, but also in clinic-based settings and sometimes their schools. And so where I originally thought I was going to be a teacher because I wanted to work with kids, I really fell in love working with families one-on-one in more intimate personal settings, that because the impact you can make in a family's life is just so amazing. And so working in an ABA, it's all about working on these little building blocks of bigger skills. Verbal communication. Okay, first we're going to start with eye contact. Now we're going to learn to point to things. Then we're going to, practice saying the words, things like that. And so that's how we were able to make huge changes in these families' lives, is teaching these little building blocks. And that's really what I found too with sleep consulting. We are teaching these small little foundational skills to create a healthy, amazing little sleeper. And so it's been a really great parallel, career-wise, like the skills that I used to learn and teach, and now I get to teach other families. But the way I got into sleep consulting is a very classic experience of I thought I was ready for motherhood, Lindsey. Like, I was like, I'm going to be such a good mom. I've got this. I've got this. And then I was very quickly humbled by my oldest, who, yes, he's the sweetest thing right now. But let me tell you, it was very difficult starting out. He wasn't sleeping, he wasn't eating. And then, a couple of months in, one of the doctors was like, Kristen, I think the only way to get this baby to sleep is to sleep train him. And I was like, I can't sleep train him. I can't even put him down. He's latched onto me all day. He screams bloody murder the second I lay him down. And they're like, well, you're going to have to do it. I was like, I can't do that. And so I started doing all of my own research, talking to different sleep consultants. When I found something that felt comfortable working with a sleep consultant, I realized this is such a great way to blend a lot of my passions and loves. And like almost every family we work with, at the end of this process, I was like, this changed my life. I was a shell of a human, and it's amazing what a little bit of sleep can do. It just give me a week or two and some sleep, and I was a brand new person. And it really, like, I was so excited to be a mom. Felt like I was failing as a mom. I was like, maybe I wasn't cut out for this. No, I was just exhausted and feeling defeated and frustrated. And so it really kind of changed my trajectory, my whole experience in, starting out with motherhood. So I just don't want families to ever feel like they're doing something wrong, they're failing, they're doing wrong by their child, things like that. And so, as a pediatric sleep consultant, we have such an amazing opportunity to walk with these parents, give them the confidence and the skills, the support, whatever they need, so that they never feel as bad as I felt, honestly. I don't want any mom to feel like, oh, I wasn't cut out for this. Like, no, you're probably just tired. You probably just need a good night's sleep, because I promise you, you are cut out for this. You can do this. So yeah, after I had my first, I stayed home with him and got certified as a pediatric sleep consultant. Shortly after that, I got certified as a lactation counselor and have been doing it ever since.
Amazing. Well, thank you for sharing that. And what an awesome background that just so applicable and helpful for families. Not only do you have the education, but you have the real life experience, and you can truly
Oh, yes,
understand what it's like to be sleep deprived and at a place of just pure desperation, exhaustion, and to understand what it looks
absolutely.
like to go through the process and what that other side is, and to be able to reap the amazing benefits of having a child that has those independent sleep skills, allows you to get the rest you deserve too, because it really does
Absolutely.
impact the entire family. So now that you have been doing this for 7 years, what is one thing you think people really misunderstand about sleep teaching, sleep training?
Yes, I feel like anytime, I'm always like sometimes scared to say the word sleep training. It has such a negative, scary connotation to it. And so, what I really want parents to know is I'm never going to ask you to put your baby or your toddler in their crib or bed, close the door, and walk away and say, I'll see you in the morning. I know that that is sometimes what we think of when we hear sleep training. And let me just tell you, I will never ask you to do that with your baby. I want always to find something, a method that feels comfortable enough that we will be consistent with it. Because at the end of 2, 3 weeks, we are going to look back and be like, oh my gosh, that felt like a different world ago. Because now you're going to have a predictable, consistent, great sleeper. And your baby, your other children are all going to be sleeping better. You're going to have more stable moods and temperaments in the house. A lot of times we feel if I sleep train my baby, I'm going to ruin them. I'm going to break them. They're going to be anxious and clingy, where the opposite happens. You now have a well rested child or baby, and everything feels more peaceful. And the predictability that comes, no, our babies are never going to follow our schedule perfectly, but there's consistency and predictability from day to day. Both baby, child, parents, we thrive on that. We thrive on routine. And so it just makes everything feel smoother and easier in the house. We're not out to damage your relationship with your child, with your baby. We don't want to cause anxiety. So we just often hear sleep training, we think bad, damaging. And the opposite, getting that child sleeping is one of the best things you can do for you and that baby.
Yes, absolutely. Preach it, girl. That is something that
is so
Always.
important for just families to understand. And when you don't know or you haven't been through the process, it seems scary, especially when there's so many things out there talking about the damaging nature of it, or it's going to ruin your attachment, when a lot of times those are just not well educated comments that are out there. And so I love the fact that we not only can help families through this, but we can really educate them on what the process looks like, what they can gain, the benefits, the health benefits, the mental health benefits of what it is like to have a child with good quality independent sleep skills that has a consistent schedule, that is getting the amount of hours that they need of sleep each night and each day, and how that can truly just be life-changing for them. So glad that you believe in the importance of sleep, and that we can help to educate families and help them so that they can get all the
Absolutely.
sleep that they so deserve. So what is your
So
favorite
important.
part of supporting families through this work?
I was saying earlier, teaching these little building blocks. My favorite part is these small wins. And so maybe we've had a baby who's taking chronic, like 30-minute naps. And anyone who's had a baby who my oldest, we called him 30-minute Lucas. I could have set a timer to him. And so when we started making progress, very small progress, our naps were extending to 45 minutes. Wait, I went to the bathroom and had lunch. I wasn't having to run. And exactly, I saw the progress there, and it gave me the encouragement, the hope to just keep going. Like, okay, what I'm doing, I'm being consistent. I'm doing all the things, and it's really paying off. Because then all of a sudden we have a baby who I had to wake my baby at 2 hours. Like, what is this? They only slept for 20, 30 minutes. Or a child who was waking every 2 hours overnight. All of a sudden they only woke 2 times overnight. Okay, we are working in the right direction. And just having those little moments, because then at the end you're like, oh my gosh, like it really did. And you stayed the path, you did the path, you put in the hard work, and it paid off. And so those little wins, I love them. I love having a mom be like, I just took a full shower, and I didn't have to jump out. And, or I sat and I read a book, or I made coffee, or I cleaned the house. Like, you did something for yourself because your baby slept long enough for you to be able to do that. Because a lot of this is, gaining some of you time back. Because oftentimes we have a mom or a dad who's holding their baby for every nap. They're driving for 2 hours at night to get them down for bed. Like, no, we don't. You get to use that time in a way that serves you, other than just sitting and just watching that baby monitor, waiting for the scream, waiting for the cry. And so those little moments and how they regain some of their freedom back with these little improvements along the way.
Love that. It's incredible. And I always say teaching the skill of sleep is a journey, and there's going to be ups and there's going to be downs, but being able to really celebrate those wins and talk about them and reflect on them, that makes the process so much more enjoyable. It doesn't make it seem as overwhelming. And so it's so fun that we can be with families as they are making and having those wins and celebrating it with them one-on-one. So you've been doing this for a while in different capacities, but what made you want to join the parenting practice team?
Yeah, so I'm really excited because the way I've been working the last couple of years, I've been able to provide a lot of support, answer some questions, and then send them on their way to go, to do their sleep plan. But now with parenting practice, you do such an amazing job of I am with you. I am with you for 2, 3, 4 weeks, longer if you want. I get to be with you from the beginning to the end. And if you have 5 questions a day, I'm there for you. If you have 5 questions a week, I'm there for you. So I'm really excited to be able to be with the families throughout that entire process, celebrate those wins, work through the things oh, that's not working, let's adjust, and to really problem solve. So at the end of the process, we really do have a great sleeper. So I'm really excited for that.
That's awesome. Yeah. It's so wonderful to just be there alongside those families. We become so entrenched really in their day to day. And it's wonderful too, with your lactation background, being able to support families that way too. I always say that we go into these relationships being our experts on sleep, but that we really become a friend of theirs, a friend of the family, and help them in so many different areas of their parenting journey. And it's fun when we part ways. It's sad to say goodbye because They've become like an extra member of their family. So excited to have you on board so that you can start working with families in those longer stint interactions.
Yes,
Also,
me too.
kind of on the same wavelength here, with all of your background and all the families that you've helped, I'm sure that there is one piece of sleep advice that you always find yourself giving. So what is that piece of sleep advice that you give over and over and over again?
It's funny you ask that because I feel like any of my friends or people I've worked with would know exactly what I'm going to say. Early bedtimes. I love an early bedtime. I feel like they are such a gift for that baby, for that child, and for the parents. And so research actually shows us that we get the deepest, most restorative sleep in about the first half of our night. And so we're in the middle of sleep training or we're figuring out a new nap schedule, there's a sleep regression, baby's been sick and had night wakings, like any of these things, or we have early morning wakings, my answer is almost always, let's get that baby to bed earlier or your toddler to bed earlier. Even the difference of 20-30 minutes earlier can really resolve a lot of our nighttime wakings, early morning wakings. Also, as a parent, getting your child to bed at an appropriate time, but it's earlier. Not only are they going to sleep a little bit better, you get some time to yourself. I really feel like the early bedtimes are something I'll preach again and again as a gift for baby, child, and the parents.
Yes, absolutely. I couldn't agree more with you. Love an early bedtime. I took advantage of it last night with my own too. And sometimes we just all need it. It just is a great reset. It's a wonderful way to just ensure baby or child or even adult. I myself sometimes have to do it. So if someone is listening to this and is super interested in working with you, what is the best way to get in contact?
Yeah, so on our website, you can read about all of the sleep specialists on the team, but under my name, Kristen Northrop, and my picture, you can book a sleep evaluation call with me. I would love to get to chat and to see if we would be a great fit to work together. My email address is also kristen@parentingpracticeco.com, and that will be listed below. And I would love to hear from you and work together, get that baby child sleeping again.
Yes. Thank you so much, Kristen. It's been a pleasure to have you on. I can't wait for you to continue to service more families under the Parenting Practice name. And as Kristen talked about, we, of course, love our one-on-one consultations and support. Those are our 2, 3, 4-week programs. That's the bread and butter here at Parenting Practice. It allows us to work with you to meet your specific goals. We know every family is unique and different, and we want to make sure that you're successful. If that doesn't feel like a great fit, we also do have other offerings here. We have our sleep rescue calls, which are 30-minute touch bases, a great way to get started with the sleep training journey. Or we have our Parenting Practice membership, where you can join and have access to our resources and our experts. Another great way to get started with setting sleep as a foundation in your home. But thank you so much for joining today. As always, like, subscribe, and follow Snooze Worthy, and we will talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.